You know, showing the button. We're on the air. And
on the air, baby.
Live.
And in color. That's not a racial joke.
And for all you people that are going to be listening to the podcast, here comes the entry to the podcast. Welcome once again to Bread's Kitchen, episode 003, which is technically our fourth episode. Four episodes in. What do you think so far?
4 episodes in, I think we're doing great. And the kitchen's hot.
It's hot. Is always hot.
It's hot. We got the on-air button. That makes it hot.
We got 2 on-air buttons, so nobody will mess with us.
Does this thing stick?
It does. I got that.
You know, we should put this one back here.
Back there?
Yeah.
Damn it. I didn't tell me that before the show.
Wow. Is that a sticker on?
It would look really cool. No, I mean, I can't. Yeah, I just put, that's what I did to that one. Because I accidentally.
Will it stay, you think?
Yeah,
stick it up?
I stuck it up there.
Try it.
Do you want me to go get tape?
Oh, you need tape for it?
Well, I got tape in there. Here, you entertain the fans because they came to watch you, and I'll hang the sign.
Well, they didn't come to watch me. They come to watch the bread, which is me, and Slick Nick. We got a great show for you guys. We've actually got some fan interaction. If you want to be labeled as fans, probably not. But you know, my wife jumped on my ass. She said, "I really need to make sure I put this damn iPhone up." But honey, I'm doing business, so I can't put the phone up because people's emailing me and messaging me right now, and that's how we're doing. So I got to keep this thing out here. A couple special shout outs before we get started. Let me look here and see what we got. We've got a first shout out, Johnny Buck Nasty. Buck Nasty will be doing a catch wrestling seminar this weekend at Elevate MMA in Cary, North Carolina, owned by the world famous Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu black belt Cody Maltais. I think that's how you say his last name. No, I really don't particularly care. I'm just playing Cody. You'll be all right, man. But Buck Nasty's going to be doing a seminar there at his school. Do you know Cody?
I know of him. I do not know him personally.
Well, everybody knows that, man. He has a nice beard.
Yes, I've seen his beard.
Have you seen his beard?
I have seen
his beard is nice, man. That looks good. Man, that pops.
You can't get much more.
It just pops.
You can't get much more official than that.
That's official, dude. Like, that's Joe Rogan shit.
I'm telling you, we are going to be
Joe Rogan shit. But again, Johnny Buck Nasty, he'll be doing a catch wrestling seminar this Saturday at Elevate MMA. If anyone has any extra information on that they want us to share, send it to me here on Facebook or email it to me at thebreadskitchen@gmail.com. I've got both of them pulled up here, so I'll be checking in on that stuff. Also, I'm going to go ahead and do my charity of the week.
Let's do it.
Shout out. Charity of the week this week is going to be Matt Masters MMA.
Matt Masters
MMA.
Okay.
And that is a nonprofit. It is a reaching youth through wrestling. It's run by Ronnie Hewitt. Ronnie Hewitt has been around for a long time. This guy has been putting not just wrestling on the map, but putting some structure and some discipline into young men's lives. He's been making better men, which is something that we really got to get going here in the United States of America, I feel like. And he's been on this thing for a long time. Former wrestler himself out there in Gastonia. I think he's a 2 or 3 time state champion, wrestled at App State. Actually went to App State for wrestling and football.
Both?
Yeah.
Damn.
Dude's he's like 80 years old. He's 80 years old, like he can cut like double backflips and shit.
Was it called App State back then?
He's like probably Appalachian. I mean, like he went there like back in the 20s and shit. But anyways, super good guy. He's running a strong wrestling program out there. He's reaching the youth. He's getting kids out from in front of the TV playing Xbox and getting them on the mat. But that stuff's not cheap. You know, they need uniforms. They got tournaments to go to. They got clinics to go to. Travel, anything. You know, and Ronnie, I know Ronnie personally. He doesn't make a dime on this, which of course it's a nonprofit. He's not supposed to. But he doesn't make a dime on this. He just loves the kids, and he teaches all ages from 2 to toothless.
Where does he teach at?
It's in Gastonia, North Carolina. Ronnie, if you could send us some information on this so we can get the address out before the end of the podcast. If you're interested in supporting Mat Masters, you can contact him at Ronnie Hewitt at masterswrestling.com, or you can send money on PayPal. It is a tax write-off because it is a 501c nonprofit. So trust me, if you wanted, I don't care if it's $5, $10, you'll be surprised what $5 can do in the sport of wrestling. You know, $5 don't do shit in jiu-jitsu.
No. I don't think I can buy a belt for $5.
I bet, dude, you can't buy a strip of tape for the degree on a belt for $5.
Well, that's probably true. Yeah, you're right.
I mean, you really can. Also, next shout out, Jujitsu.
Oh, let me interject that shout out. So if you guys are live and you see the little comments below on the YouTube, Johnny, feel free to type your comments in about where you can steer people, and anybody else Brad goes over. If you guys are in the comment section, type them out so other people can see while this is live, and people can go donate right now if they want to, or go check them out while we're on the air.
Yep, that's good stuff. Next thing, Jujitsu Mofo of the week.
Oh, wow.
The Jujitsu Mofo of the week goes to none other than John Bagels Telford. Bagels. Dude, he's dude, you know you're badass if your nickname is Bagels. He's a badass.
He is.
Let me tell you how much of a badass he is. He just went to the 2017 Masters 1 No-Gi World Championships and brought the gold medal back to North Kakalaki. Even though he actually trains in Virginia now at Revolution BJJ, we still claim him because he's been here like forever. So
and he's from here too.
Yeah, he's from North Carolina. From North Carolina.
So move back down, North Carolina.
Yeah, super active guy. You can see Bagels always at the U.S. grappling, refereeing. Loves to referee the little kids, man. Yeah, little kids love getting on the mat. He takes care of them. He directs them. He makes sure they're safe, and he's encouraging kids to compete. And he's just a phenomenal freaking jiu-jitsu mofo, and he's the world champion.
So I want to ask you a quick question about the different, did you have anything else you wanted to go over on charities or about mofos?
We do have one more shout out. Every week from now, we will be giving a okay. I know I'm going to get cussed out for this one, but I really don't care. So we're giving out a Jiu-Jitsu Mofo of the week.
Okay.
We're going to give a Jiu-Jitsu Badass Bihatch of the week.
Another test word.
Bihatch. Yes. No.
I can't do it.
No. Bihatch.
Bihatch.
Bihatch. There's a big difference.
How do you spell that?
Well, I'll tell you what. You say what you said again and read the emails that you get.
By the way, I would like to formally apologize for using the N-word on the last show, because I went back and listened to it myself. And even though that we were talking about it, that word just has no place in discussion anywhere.
It's just a.
And I apologize.
Well, no need to apologize, because we was having an intelligent conversation and we were trying to get down a road to a point about the N-word. But man, it's just a bad word. It's just a bad word.
It's a bad word that does not need to be in anyone's vocabulary, vernacular.
It just sounds retarded. There's no way you can say that and make it sound intelligent.
And that's what I listened to myself and I was like, I sound like a fucking idiot.
You can drop the you can drop the ER, add A, take away the A, add an I, and it still doesn't.
No,
just don't work.
So we have to eradicate that word somehow.
We're going to eradicate it. I don't know how.
We got to figure out. But to all my brethren out there, I apologize. did not mean to, well, I used the word, but it sounded stupid, so I'm sorry.
Nick, that's awful white of you. So, Jujitsu Bihach of the week goes to Diane Stiegel. Diane trains at my buddy's school at the Pipe Doctor.
Pipe Doctors?
The Pipe Doctor, John Piper. And she has been training now, I want to say, going on 3 years.
Yeah.
She's a,
this was a little closer to you.
I want to say she's a 4-tip white belt. Yeah, let me get this.
It's the way the microphones are set up.
Oh yeah, sorry about that. Anyway, Diane Stiegel, she's the she's going to get our shout out award, Jujitsu Bihach of the week, and the reason she's going to get it is because Diane absolutely works her ass off. She's a hard worker.
So what's the story behind this? What
Diane?
Why does she deserve to be?
Because let me tell you what Diane. Diane, you know, wasn't really sure of herself. Wasn't really sure she could even do this. Like a lot of people, you know, a lot of people's not sure if they can do this crazy sport of jiu-jitsu.
Okay.
And no one empowered Diane. You know, a lot of times it takes someone to empower you before you really feel comfortable doing this. Diane empowered herself.
Okay, so explain your take on empowerment. What does that mean?
Empowerment is when someone, okay, my take on empowerment is when someone basically gives you the go-ahead. They give you the, you can do this. They acknowledge what is already there.
Okay.
And it's a weird thing because it's already there. You know, you can already do it, especially this sport, because this sport is meant for anyone to go forward with this thing and be successful. It's meant for the smaller person to beat the bigger person, the weaker person to beat the stronger person. We've heard that story, the yada, 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 but it's the truth. And so it's in all of us to do jiu-jitsu and be jiu-jitsu and be successful at jiu-jitsu. And, you know, a lot of times I see people quit because they don't get that empowerment from their coach. They don't get that from their team. They want someone to tell them that they can do this. And then some people, you know, they just don't even try. Diane she totally shocked me. She came into my old gym at Dalton Avenue, which was absolutely a goat ranch. It was a fucking goat ranch. It was a goat ranch. It was, you know, if you wasn't hardcore, you wasn't training in there. And not only did she come in there to train, she didn't train with us, but she trained with one of the black belts that trained there out of my school, a guy named Aaron Tex Johnson. Tex, by the way, who took 3rd in the world in the adult division, no-gi division, world championships, just a beast. But she actually trained under Tex, and then she would come in 2-3 times a week and do privates with this guy. And I mean, Tex cut her no slack. He was tough on her. And she stuck with it. She stuck through it. She trained with Tex for about a year. Tex moved, and she didn't shy away from the challenge. You know, she could have went to some, you know, I don't want to say any gym is wimpy. Let me put it this way. She could have went to a more family structured environment, less competitive environment. She didn't. She went over to John Piper's, to the Pipe Doctors, and she jumped right in the mix. And, you know, I'm super proud of her. I'm super proud, super proud of her. So much so that she's my Bihach of the week. And so she gets the shout out this week.
So I guess I need to add that to the website. We need to do the weekly BJJ
Mofo. My Mofo of the week, John Bagels. Oh, bird.
And then the Bihach of the week.
Yeah, that's right.
All right, done. I can do that.
Going back to the first shout out, Johnny Buck Nasty.
Mm-hmm.
You know, I told him, hey man, you know, you got anything to say about the seminar? And he didn't give me the address, but he did tell me he'll be the first person ever to teach a seminar and roll in there strapped. Just
wow,
Buck Nasty.
That was a great seminar, by the way, up at his place that you put on.
You're talking about the seminar I did at Johnny's place. Yeah, I thought it went well. I thought it went well.
Really well.
I do know a little bit about what I'm doing. Surprisingly.
You know a lot of people too.
I know a lot of people. I know a lot of grappling. I've forgotten a lot of it, but I know a lot of it. And I know a lot of people. You're right.
So I have 2 questions for you.
Yes.
2-point questions. First one, when we're going back talking about the different associations, I wanted, what are your thoughts about, say, like Hicksons' new, what is it, the Jiu-Jitsu Federation?
Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation
versus IBJJF versus Naga versus Kumite, whatever you want to call them.
You know, it's funny that that you said that, because I guess you saw the debacle with Hickson's black belt and the sexual whatever the dude did. Well, what was he? What did he do? He did something like to a young girl, 14, 15-year-old girl.
Well, allegedly. I'm trying to find it right now.
Okay, wait a minute. I thought he pled guilty.
I don't know if he did.
Well, we're some uninformed mofos. We get the uninformed mofo of the week.
I can add that in.
We're on here on the damn podcast talking about shit we don't know. I love it.
Well, no, it's because it gets swept under the rug under the fake news stuff.
Well, not this, because the jiu-jitsu community loves a good drama-filled story that they can take and run with it, especially if it will shoot somebody in their damn foot. Even Hicksons.
Well, and he's got the biggest target.
He's got the biggest foot.
Yeah.
To put in anybody's ass that wants it put in there.
So this article is from the Jiu-Jitsu Times, and it says,
I read that.
What are the implications of Hicksons Gracie's association with Dave Arnebeck, the Jiu-Jitsu community speaks?
Yeah. What's the date of that then?
That is December 17th. This is the
2017.
This is the most recent
one. So it's most recent.
So I'm just gonna breeze over it real fast. Over the past few days, the Jiu-Jitsu interwebs has been abuzz over our community's latest scandal. A man by the name of David Arnebeck, a black belt under Hicksons Gracie, has been revealed to have a sordid past, which includes a conviction in the 90s for soliciting, so I guess he was convicted, soliciting a prostitute, and more recently, a 2013 conviction for groping a 15-year-old girl. So if these are facts...
I thought it was reversed.
The scandal isn't much about Arnebeck's crimes, but the fact that Hickson posted a picture on Instagram just a few days ago of himself training with Arnebeck at Hickson's house.
Okay.
The picture has drawn the ire of many prominent members of the Jiu-Jitsu community, including one of Hickson's most popular black belts, Henry Akins, as well as Jiu-Jitsu black belt and rock star Ty Gay. Both have made posts about the subject, which Arnebeck himself chimed in on. The majority of Arnebeck's points can be found here. There's a link there. It looks like he has his own. It's davidarnebeck.com/truth. Here is Gay's emotional and direct video, which addresses Hickson's inattentiveness to this incident, which I'm not going to bore you guys. Here's a quote. As we are learning now from Hollywood, silence only perpetuates the problem and makes us complicit. I was completely shocked, angered, and very much disappointed to see this, especially because I brought this issue to the attention of the JJGF 2 years ago when Troy Pasinski was still involved.
Tony Pasinski.
I'm sorry, Tony Pasinski. Many people feel that the Gracie family is in some way morally superior, and many people view Hickson as being a sort of jiu-jitsu god. The Jujitsu Global Federation was purportedly brought about by Hickson's desire to save jiu-jitsu. I don't think jiu-jitsu needed saving, but that's a different conversation. Do the implications of this revelation, and this is a question I'm going to ask you, do the implications of this revelation conclusively debunk Hickson's moral standing? If Hickson addresses the situation now, can he redeem himself?
What are you asking me? Does this in any form, fashion, or shape
Does
tarnish the reputation of Hicksons Gracie?
Yes.
Well, wait a minute. First off, Hicksons Gracie's reputation is just a bad mofo.
Yes.
So no. No, it doesn't. I mean, look, it doesn't matter. Look, Hicksons Gracie could go pick up prostitutes. And God forbid Hicksons Gracie could do something immoral like this guy did. And that doesn't, nothing changes the fact that Hicksons Gracie is a bad mofo. If that's what you're, now if you're looking at Hicksons Gracie as your life coach, then yeah, I guess it changes things.
Okay.
He ain't my life coach. I don't know the dude.
Right.
All I know is he's a bad mofo, and he's stingy as hell with his fucking instructional videos. That's all I can tell you. And he's like my damn hero, and he pisses me off. Now, if we could like somehow use this to like pressure him into putting some videos out, then hell yeah, I'm all for it. Let's run his ass through the fire. Put him through the ringer. Now, on all seriousness, this David Arnebeck dude, I don't know who that guy is, okay? But the first thing I heard in that is 90s.
That was the
I thought it was reversed. I thought he did something in the 90s with the minor, and then he got caught with a prostitute later. But maybe I'm wrong.
Includes a conviction in the 90s for soliciting a prostitute, and more recently for the 2000 conviction of groping a 15-year-old girl. So, prostitution, in my view, and this has nothing to do. This is just my personal view. It's the oldest job out there. It's not going to stop. It's been around since biblical times.
Yeah.
People are going to pay for sex.
Yeah.
People are going to sell sex.
Yeah.
Is there a problem with that?
I wonder how many of the people complaining about him and the prostitutes watch a whole lot of porn and pay for it.
And pay for it. What?
I just wonder. Now, the groping the 15-year-old girl.
That, and it was convicted. So
yeah. And how old is he?
He is 40. Let me see how old he was back then.
It's not good. There's no way it's good.
There's not, well,
regardless, there's no way it's good. This isn't a 17, 18-year-old boy with a 15-year-old girl or anything that they could come back and try to twist it around to try to clear his name or anything like this. This is a grown-ass man and a teenager. So this is my opinion on it, because the way I understood it is then after much pressure and people browbeating him, I think Hickson came back sometime here recently and kicked David, whatever his name is, Arnebeck, whatever, kicked him out of the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation.
Okay.
I did read that. He did come back here recently and he kicked this man out of the Jiu-Jitsu
So there were
Global
repercussions.
Federation. Yeah.
Okay.
There was repercussions. Now, going further than that, I saw where some people were screaming, well, you should take his black belt. Now, this is where we go back into the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation and what they're trying to do, and the IBJJF, sort of what you was asking me, comparing the two, and just my opinion on it. Number one, he kicked the man out of the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation.
Yes. Okay,
which means the guy is not a member of this federation. All right.
Are you a member of the federation?
Yeah, actually, yeah. Well, I registered under them like when I first got my black belt, and then I realized, I was like, what the hell am I registering with any of this shit for? Because I can't do anything with it anyway, and that's another story.
Okay.
I mean, you
bread life story?
Yeah, well, it's not a bread life story, it's just a fact. I mean, when you register your black belt with these, you pay a whole lot of money, but unless you're a third-degree black belt, you can't give a black belt technically up to make. If I give you a black belt right now, even if I'm registered with IBJJF, not registered as an athlete, but registered black belt with IBJJF, and I give you a black belt, it has absolutely no bearing. I have to have a third-degree black belt sign off on your black belt.
Is that for every federation, or is that just for the?
I don't know about the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation. That's for the IBJJF.
Okay.
That's for the IBJJF, and a lot of people are running into that. So I'm not going to pay $1,000 to register a black belt with IBJJF if that black belt, if I can't give them. I mean, what am I registering it for?
Is there a benefit for you registering earlier than you getting?
There's no benefit to it.
Third degree? No.
No, there's no benefit. I mean, well, no, I'm under Leo Vera anyway, and Leo Vera is registered with IBJJF. So, if I say you're a black belt, Leo's going to sign off on it.
Right.
As long as he feels comfortable with it.
Right.
Okay, which he's not going to let me give you a black belt anyway. Which we need those checks and balances. I'm a firm believer of that. But going back to this guy, if Hickson, how do you take someone's black? I mean, what do? Do you go to their house and do you old school Gracie Jiu-Jitsu challenge them and hit them with the Spider Dookie card and take their black belt off, like physically off? I mean, what do you do? Because here's the reality. Here's the reality of the situation. You can say whatever you want to. It's up to the free market to decide this man's punishment.
Correct.
He owns a school. He's a business owner. His students train with him.
Yep.
Okay. There's parents out there that have their kids training with this guy, and I'm guessing this guy has a big school. I'm guessing he has a lot more students than I do, probably more students than anyone in Charlotte other than Lucas Lepre. And, you know, you could say, I could say, Hickson should go take that man's black belt. At the end of the day, if he doesn't take that black belt off himself and he doesn't go shut his school doors down himself, there is nothing that any of us can do about it, because there is no, there is no federation that legally has jurisdiction and monitors the belt process and who does what. So how do you tell, look, just like how do you go take his black belt? How do you tell Ben Askren he's not a black belt? If Ben Askren says, well, I'm a black belt, and if you guys don't like it, come get me, come do something about it. Ain't nobody's went and done anything about it. So with Hickson, it's ridiculous for people to sit there and go, well, he should take his black belt too. You're wishing in the bottom of a Cracker Jack box. You're just talking about something that can't happen.
Do you feel that he should still be able to be a business owner?
Me personally, would I want him teaching my daughter? No.
Okay.
No. Well, you know what? Actually, let me take that back. I'm a firm believer that I want to hear all the facts, because one thing I've learned in life, if I jump to the conclusion of what the press and the media and somebody else tells me, I always get burnt. I always get burnt. Okay. So I'm not going to sit here and condemn the man based off of what I read on Google. I want to, if it pertained to me, if my daughter was trained with him, number one, I would go talk to him about it. Number two, I would go get the legal facts. A 50-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl, it's a huge red flag. But again, if I feel that strongly about it, then as part of the free market, I got to go pull my daughter out of the class or my son out of the class, or I got to go sit down and talk to this guy, get the facts and the details, and me and my wife got to make a decision. More than likely, I'm just going to pull her out of the class.
So you do believe that there is a separation between the deed and the ability to teach, and that the free market should decide the man.
That's with anything. I was just talking to someone about Jerry Richardson, the Carolina Panthers.
Yep.
And again, you read stuff on the damn iPhone. I mean, fuck, look at this thing. It's fucking iPhone 10. Look at that nice big screen. I mean, look at this. This thing's like, I don't know. It's awesome. But anyways, you read stuff on the iPhone 10 and you would think the iPhone 10 would have the power to like separate the bullshit from the real stuff, but it can't.
It makes it worse.
Yeah, it makes it worse, actually. So, you know, I read about Jerry Richardson and the Panthers, that the Panthers was going to get sold, which I hope the whole damn thing closes down. I'm a Broncos fan. Go Broncos. But, you know, I was under the impression that Jerry Richardson was being forced to sell the Panthers due to alleged racial slurs. That's what I thought. So the other day, and I also read, though, where Cam Newton and a bunch of the African-American players were coming to his defense and saying, hey, this guy's stand up. This guy's awesome. This guy's not a racist. You know, we don't believe it. So the other day, you know, I'm having a conversation with somebody about this, and at the beginning of the conversation, I said, well, I call bullshit. These guys are saying he's a stand-up guy. These are allegations, okay? He shouldn't be made to sell. He should be pressured to sell his team. Well, the person I was talking to went absolute ape shit. They got pissed because they said that it wasn't racial slurs. They said it was sexual harassment. So there you go. I'm the misinformed idiot talking about stuff I don't know. But they
no, it has nothing
well,
to do
hold
with
on. But my point was, my point to all this is, let's say he did do this. Let's say it was proven. Let's say that it was sexual harassment or it was racial slurs or whatever. It's his business. As part of the free market, it's our choice to take our business away from him. It's not our choice, though, I feel like, to point our finger at him and go, well, you got to sell your team, or the guy out in the school, you got to shut your school down.
But don't you think in this case that if these allegations are true, which are just allegations, which we've seen, I don't know, maybe 50 of them within the past month, that the governing agency, NFL, should step in, do an investigation, and then release the facts. And then
if the NFL has something in their bylaws, because they are the governing federation or league or whatever, if they have something in their bylaws that says You cannot own an NFL team if you say the N-word or if you grab him by the cooch like the president, okay? If you can't do that. You can't be an NFL owner and grab him by the cooch. You can be the president, but you can't be the NFL owner. If they have something in their bylaws that says that, then that is up to them. That is up to them to hand down the punishment and strip him of his ownership if they can. Which goes back to my point with the Jiu-Jitsu Federations. He kicked him out of the federation, okay? Well, Tough Titty said the kitty, but the milk's still good. That doesn't take his damn black belt from him. I mean, at the end of the day, you know what he's doing right now? He's out there in California or New Mexico, wherever he teaches jiu-jitsu, and he's saying, who gives a shit? Because it doesn't take his black belt.
Should anybody give a shit?
The parents should give a shit. I mean, the parents should be concerned. The parents should be investigating this thing. I mean, somebody has to.
I mean, they are convictions. They're not allegations.
Yeah, those are
convictions.
convictions. They're not allegations. Okay, so now it's up to the parents to weigh the circumstances around those convictions and say, what are we doing here?
So I'm just wondering. I don't remember if California law has anything about registering as a sex offender.
Okay, no, wait a minute. Now that part again. There we go. That's why I'm saying, and that's why I hesitate to jump on the bandwagon and go take his damn black belt, fire that son of a gun, get him out of the jiu-jitsu community, because I did read that the judge, for whatever reason, I cannot imagine what the circumstances could have possibly been. For whatever reason, the judge said that he was allowed to be around minors. So therefore, he wasn't registered as a sex offender. Now, that's mind-boggling to me from the outside looking in, but I'm not there. I don't know all the legal. Like you would, I literally, for me to feel comfortable passing down any form of judgment, I would have to get the case file and look at it and read it, because there's something there that I can tell you right now. How old are you?
40.
You're 40. I'm 42. If we grope a 15-year-old girl, I can guarantee you in the state of North Carolina, number one, we're probably going to prison.
Yep.
Number two, you're going to be put on the sex offender registry. You can look up North Carolina
100%.
Sex offender registry right now. You can look up anybody on there and see if they're on there. Okay, you're going on there. There's no doubt about. I've never heard. This is the first time I've ever heard of a 40-some-year-old, 50-year-old man and a 15-year-old girl, and especially out there in California, like they're big on that in California. They'll throw you on there quick.
What?
I have a friend here in Charlotte. He was 18 and his girlfriend was 15 and he's on the registry. That's here in Charlotte. And that sucks. He's hurt for life. So I can't imagine what the situation could have possibly been with this David Arquette.
Or I think Arnett, maybe.
We keep butchering his name. But you see my point?
But do you think it was consensual? Arnebeck.
Well, who gives a shit? 40 and 15? How could that possibly be? I mean, I don't know.
So
I don't know. But then again, I mean, I don't know. There's a judge out there somewhere in the United States of America that said
groping a 15-year-old. Nothing. It says nothing about consensual.
I don't care, dude. You're 40 years old. You touch a female, your ass, a 15-year-old female, your ass is grass. Usually,
I agree.
Usually,
personally.
Which again, and you heard me say that, and we both feel strongly about it. But there's a judge out there, a trusted servant of the citizens of the United States of America and the citizens of California, out there that said the circumstances does not require this man to be on the sex offender registry, and he is allowed to be around minors, meaning he's allowed to teach children.
It's crazy.
Well, we say it's crazy, but we don't know the circumstances. I don't know. I mean, I can't think of what it could possibly be. But I do know that when you combine it with the prostitution charge, I mean, what do you do? Do you pull Spider Dookie guard? Do you pull the Spider Dookie guard on him?
To the De La Hua.
To the De La Dookie?
De La Dookie.
I mean, what do you do?
I mean, I don't think that.
And it's not funny. I mean, I'm laughing about it because it's mind-boggling to me that he's not on the registry.
Yes, and we're not laughing at sexual.
Oh hell
predation.
no, hell
Please,
no! Trust me, I'm the last damn person who's gonna be laughing at that shit. It's not funny. But I mean, I don't know, man. I don't know. I mean, in my opinion, going back to the original, in my opinion, Hickson has done all that he could. And I think just from reading what little I read on it, he let his feelings get in the way. I think the guy's one of his friends. There's pictures of them training together in Hickson's house, which Hickson doesn't just let, you can't go knock on Hickson's door and go train, dude. No. I got bad news for you. I know you want to, but you can't. I would think that I should be able to, being who I am, but I don't think you know what, to be honest with you, I don't want to hurt Hickson. So anyways, but
he just released a statement.
Hickson did?
It just came up in the newsfeed.
What does it say?
However, less than an hour before the time of this writing, Master Hickson broke his silence and responded on Facebook. Gracie said that he takes full responsibility for allowing Mr. Arnebeck to continue his membership in the JJGF, which Hickson founded, and also announced that his organization will have a zero-tolerance policy towards sexual misconduct. The statement is in regards to my association with David Arnebeck. I take full responsibility.
Arnebeck, not Arnett.
Arnebeck, yeah.
Arnebeck.
I take full responsibility for allowing Mr. Arnebeck to continue his membership in the JJGF.
Yeah.
Considering the final court ruling that he was permitted full, unrestricted, normal contact with minors.
Yep, there you go.
Which declares that Mr. Arnebeck was not to be considered as a danger to minors.
Yep.
Or to society, and that I know him, his wife, his daughter, and his work as a jiu-jitsu instructor for 15 years. I decided not to impose further penalties on Mr. Arnebeck other than those already given by the court.
Right.
In doing so, I took the personal position that people who demonstrate the will to change and to pay for past mistakes should not be ostracized and excluded from society.
Okay, and that's what made me think that the female, the little girl was back in the 90s and that the prostitution, but still, that doesn't make it, what he said doesn't make any sense, because
there's something we're missing.
One coming after the other, that's not change.
There's obviously there's holes in the story.
If it had happened back in the 90s and the guy, never had anything else happen again, and Hickson knew him for, and then he came out and made that statement, it would make perfect sense. But this happened twice, or two sets of some form of sexual misconduct. I mean, prostitution is not really sexual misconduct, but it's illegal, and it does do with sex. And then you have the thing with the 15-year-old girl, right? So I don't know, man. I think he just let his feelings get involved because they're friends. And he's making the point of what I said, that the court said that the guy's not, but still, let's hold on for a minute. Everything he said in there, he relates back to the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation.
I was just going to bring that up.
That ain't got shit to do with the guy teaching kids.
No, but as soon as you tarnish the Jiu-Jitsu Global, is it the
Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation, JJGF.
JJGF. As soon as you tarnish that name,
yeah,
no one's going to want to train or pay them to have a plaque on their wall or to be awarded black belt. That's a lot of lost revenue, and that comes straightly down to cash.
Yeah, but damn the JJGF. I'm talking about the kids. I'm talking about the kids and the students and the families and the possibility of what's being allowed, because but like I said,
explain that, because when you say damn that the Global Federation. And yes, priority on the kids, but
everything he said was situated around let's protect the JJGF, which I can understand.
Yes,
the importance and where the JGS place is where they're trying to be in the overall concept of Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. I get it, I understand it, and I agree with it. Jiu-Jitsu needs some type of governing body over the art, not the sport, the art. I 110% agree with that, but that's not what we're talking about here. We're talking about the safety, the protection of these children. But then again, I mean, he did make a good point. The court said that he's not a danger to the kids. He's not a danger to society. So I guess really.
Do you need a global federation to manage personal misconduct within schools?
Well, obviously so. We wouldn't be having this damn conversation if you didn't. I mean,
but do you really think that there needs to be a federation judging how you conduct business within your school, which is your business and your livelihood?
Yeah, and that is what I said.
Again, it comes down to money.
Comes down to the free market. It's at the end of the day, with anything, it's the free market's job to decide what, when, and where. But let me say this also though. The jiu-jitsu community is famous for getting on these scandals and really trying to use them to promote their own good. There's no secret that if Hickson is tarnished with the JJGF, that the other league and people who are advocates for it probably benefit.
Yes.
I've seen a similar thing with Master Lloyd Irvin up in Baltimore.
Oh, yes.
No one to this day, and on that note, that situation, Lloyd Irvin was cleared
of all wrongdoing,
and his 2 students somehow, I have no idea, and again, I don't know the details, but this is why I don't quick to judge, because when that thing first came out, you couldn't have found anyone that would have bet that those 2 guys were going to be found not guilty, and sure as shit, they were found not guilty, or the charges were dropped, one of the 2. So there was no legal permanent stain on Lloyd Irvin or his students' records in that sense. But to this very day, no one lets that go. And not only did they not let it go, not only did they just not hang on to it, but they actually use that as a weapon to discredit Lloyd Irvin, his accomplishments, and his students' accomplishments. I'll give you a perfect example. DJ Jackson has beat Gary Tonin like the damn Roadrunner beats Cody. And you never hear anybody say DJ Jackson's one of the greatest in the world.
True.
You hear Gary Tonin, you hear, what's his buddy's name? Gordon Ryan. You hear Buchecha from Checkmat. Yeah. You hear Keenan Cornelius, who's actually a former student of Lloyd Irvin. You hear Lucas Leche. You hear Craig Jones, the new guy from Australia. But very rarely do you hear people on a consistent basis say, DJ Jackson is one of the greatest in the world. You just don't hear it. And why? Because he's associated with Lloyd Irvin. I mean, and it's, again, the jiu-jitsu community is famous for that stuff. Now, are people really using that against Lloyd Irvin because they're concerned about the female population of the jiu-jitsu community? Are there movements and strikes going on outside of Lloyd Irvin's, and are people like falling at the feet of the females that walk in there every day? No. So do they really care? I mean, do they really care about the safety of the females? Do they really think Lloyd Irvin's a threat, or are they just running their mouth and trying to beat a guy down for some other posturing?
That's a good question.
You see my point?
Yeah.
And same thing with Hickson. Do people really care? Do they really care? I mean, are people really concerned? These people's making all these posts and stuff. Are they really concerned about the well-being of those students and kids out there that this David, what's his name? Arnebeck. Yeah. Are they really concerned about his students and the teenagers and kids he's coaching, or are they just trying to beat Hickson down?
So if you look on Reddit, just ignore all the Reddit stuff, because it's exactly what happens is they want to go after the big name, and it's all conjecture, and it's just keyboard warriors. And some of them may be actual students, but fuck if I know. But it's just ridiculous the amount of.
I mean, what do they want done? What do they want done? And again, what's the end game? What do you want? What? Shame
and discreditation.
They want to put him who? David or Hickson? But what does that have to do again with protecting the kids? And
because people overlook that simple fact, it's about the kids. But it comes back down to a larger thing about money.
It's disappointing.
It is disappointing.
It's disappointing. The whole thing is disappointing. But the way that people react and the way that they handle it, it's disappointing.
So before IBJJF, there's Naga.
Yeah.
You go to Naga tournament. You're lucky if you were mid-level or, you know, starting out, you get one match and you pay what, $70 to $100?
Mm-hmm.
And now you got IBJJF, which you can at least go and get
maybe
two matches if you do gi and no gi.
Unless you're like the Masters 12, I mean,
well, yeah, when there's four people,
those guys might get no matches and get a gold medal.
Started on that. But and then you've got the local promotions where we've got one coming up that you're guaranteed at least 4 matches.
Yeah.
And I think as the levels move up from local to city, state to nationwide, and then world, obviously the focus gets narrower.
The competitive pool in jiu-jitsu is just not, it's not big.
So what do you think about Eddie Bravo's combat jiu-jitsu?
I can do without it. I like it, but I can do it. It doesn't matter to me. I mean, when you're talking about jiu-jitsu, I mean, look, at the end of the day, you want to find out if your jiu-jitsu works, either go down to 7-Eleven and jump on one of the crackheads. Well, I mean,
we are not advocating that.
I mean, I do. You know, I tell my students, look, you know, application is big with me to get promoted.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not saying you have to compete, but the only way that I have to gauge if your jiu-jitsu is legit is through application. I can judge application by watching you roll in class. That tells me a little bit. You know, it tells me a lot more than if you didn't roll, but it tells me a little bit. Okay, it tells me how you roll actively. It tells me a little bit about how your jiu-jitsu is under pressure, which is really what we're looking for. The other ways that I can tell is you can go compete in a tournament,
okay,
or you can go down to 7-Eleven and whip a man's ass.
Do you give stripes out for that?
Yes. Buck Nasty's a damn purple belt. Buck Nasty's. I've been in the fire with Buck Nasty. We've tore the clubs up. We've been in the shit shows, in the scraps, in the fights, 3-on-2, 4-on-2, 5-on-2, 20-on-10, 20-on-20. We've been there. I've been there. I've seen his grappling. I've seen his scrapping in action. Adam Dehart, I've seen him in action. Now, then on the other side of that coin, you got Nicole Hunt. You got Ricky Rainey, Joe Pacheco. You know, I've seen those guys and girls in action in a different venue in the cage. I've seen them get punched in the face, nose broke, mouth busted, eyes watered, get a good eye jammy, and watch them maintain composure with their jiu-jitsu. You know, you can do you can twist the grappling rules all you want to. You can allow sitting to the spider dookie guard with no touching. You can allow the little smacks. You can do the full on go rules. You can do no time limit. All that stuff's great, but at the end of the day, you want to know if your jiu-jitsu works, you gotta get hit in the eye.
Okay.
That's just my opinion, and that's my opinion, which means little, except on here, which is everything. It's God. But you know, that's just how I feel. Nate Diaz has phenomenal jiu-jitsu. Joe Lazon has phenomenal. Damian Maya has world-class jiu-jitsu. Hickson has world universal class jiu-jitsu. Hoist Gracie is a bad mofo. You can be the 18-time IBJJF Spider Dookie guard pulling champion of the world. In my opinion, you can't tie Hoist Gracie's fucking Muay Thai cup. You can't scratch Henzo's hemorrhoids. Okay? You suck. You stink compared to those guys. No, you're better than me, but compared to those guys, I'm just telling you the truth, man. It's the truth.
Hey,
it's the truth.
That's what we're here for.
Look, man. Look, pull up.
Fred's truth.
You can look up a lot of multiple times world IBJJF Naga Grappling Quest champions, and they go into an MMA fight and get hit in the damn eye, and all hell breaks loose. They can't.
Your world changes when you get.
Your world changes. Your world changes.
100%.
That's why I laugh so much. Like I literally, I laugh my ass off sometimes when there is this guy. There is a guy here in Charlotte, and he walks around like he is he just has this cocky, arrogant little smirk on his fucking face. He's in like the Masters 9 division, and he makes little dude. I'll never forget. Eddie was grappling one time against this kid that everybody claimed could beat him, and this guy's like standing over there, giving his little smirky look. And I see him at the grocery store. He's got his Jujitsu shirt on. He's walking around like he's tough. You see, look at his Facebook. He's just the toughest guy in the world. And I'm sitting there thinking to myself, I'm pretty sure I can whip your ass in a grappling match, but I will take you down and headbutt you into unconsciousness and then rearrange your physical anatomy while you're out. And you're sitting there just constantly yakking, looking at me and talk. It's funny. It's fucking fun. I see a guy and his entire game is to sit down on his butt and scratch his tank meat and that's his entire game. And then I see him one time. I see him actually one time in a practice room practicing some takedowns. This was a long time ago. He's practicing some takedowns, and he can't take anybody down. And then for some reason, he decided to put some gloves on and do some sparring. And the entire time, he's like closing his eyes, and he's just hitting all in his face. And he's reaching, and then he sits. And I'm just like, you're terrible. You do all this training for nothing. You can do the spider dookie guard, the single leg X, when nobody's hitting you in your face. So back to our original point on the EBI rules.
Okay.
I like them, but I can do without them. It just like the IBJJF.
Okay.
I can do without it. The NAGA, I can do without it. I do it, I support it so that I can help my students improve and I can see their progress through application.
What do you see as the future of a Jiu-Jitsu Federation?
I don't know, dude. They need to figure it out. I mean, it's weird, man. I mean, like Jiu-Jitsu just the IBJJF governs the sport in the story. It governs the sport to the people who acknowledge it.
Okay.
Because when was the last time you competed at IBJJF? Have you ever competed at IBJJF?
No.
Okay. You're one of my blue belts.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. I say you're a blue belt. And you're a very good blue belt. Very, very good blue belt. Okay. One of my buddies, Steve Hall, will back me up that you're a good blue belt, that you deserve that ranking. Okay. Well, actually, let's not use you. Let's use Steve Hall.
Okay.
Anybody in their right mind that doesn't think Steve Hall can whip a man's ass is an idiot. They are an absolute idiot. Okay. They're just you would have to be a moron to think that his jiu-jitsu is not legitimate. I don't always agree with Steve. Me and him don't always see eye to eye. Okay. But he is a legitimate, skilled, technical, tough son of a bitch.
100%.
100%. Now, he doesn't compete IBJJF.
Correct.
Okay. So he doesn't, I don't even know if I don't even think he's registered with the IBJJF. I think he's like me. He puts his students into the IBJJF and through their stuff through Hoist, I think. Yes. I may be wrong.
Hoist.
Okay. And I think that's how he works, or he does it under Charles in Florida. Regardless, I don't think he's registered with IBJJF. So let me get this straight. And this is just about them governing. Well, this is why I say they govern the sport to the people that acknowledge it. If tomorrow the IBJ, somebody says, and because I've heard this ridiculousness before, somebody says, well, Steve Hall isn't a legitimate black belt because he's not registered with IBJJF. And I've heard that so many times before. Okay. I mean, are you going to listen to that?
Go up there and roll with it.
Well, no, forget that. I'm just asking you. Are you going to acknowledge that? Are you going to go with that? No, you're not going to go with that. You're not going to go with that. Okay, so therefore, their governorship over the art has no bearing. Correct. Do you understand?
Yes.
You understand my point?
Yes.
Now, you look at some of the other combat sports like wrestling. Wrestling is a sport. It's not an art. USA Wrestling governs the sport of wrestling. It's not an art.
Yes.
Okay. There's no one on planet Earth. There's no one on planet Earth that trains wrestling without some link to competition. You go to Mat Masters, Ronnie Hewitt, the Mat Masters Wrestling, Gastonia, North Carolina, Ronnie Hewitt. If you go to his practices and he has 30 little kids out on that mat training wrestling tomorrow, those 30 little kids are going to be competing. If there's 5 tournaments in the novice wrestling season, they're competing in those 5 tournaments. No little kid is out there training wrestling just for the heck of it. In jiu-jitsu, people train for the sport, and some people train for the art, just for the love of the art. And because there's ranks and there's titles and there's levels to the art, okay? In a certain sense, I feel like there should be some type of federation or something to govern from the top down to the bottom, and there's not, and that's where there's a conflict with the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation, I feel like, and the IBJJF. I don't think Hickson wants to govern, even though he does have he has an education division, he has a sport division, and then he has it might just be called the art division. I'm not sure, but he has 3 divisions of the Jiu-Jitsu Global Federation. And so what he's trying to do is honorable. I think where he gets off on the wrong track is he makes an enemy, or he comes into conflict with IBJJF because he's trying to do tournaments too.
Okay.
But I think the IBJJF, what they're doing, there's a place for it. I think that we need a governing league, to govern the sport like USA Wrestling does.
Isn't Jiu-Jitsu going to the Olympics?
I think it's going as it's been confirmed as a temporary sport, which means it has an opportunity to show that it should be. But the problem is you don't have now you do. Now that the other organization is trying to, but again, they're trying to regulate the sport of jiu-jitsu and grappling.
Correct.
But that's not the art.
But it's just like judo. You have the USA Judo Federation, and you're going to have the USA Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
Right.
You have the Russian Jiu-Jitsu Federation, and you're going to have the World Jiu-Jitsu Federation.
Yep.
And everybody's going to compete, just like what they did with Taekwondo and wrestling and judo, under those guises of if this makes it to an Olympic sport, those are going to be the governing agencies for the sport of jiu-jitsu, not the art.
Yeah.
For the sport.
Yeah, and more importantly, not the IBJJF.
Not the yes, correct.
Man, how's that going to go? That's going to be a shit show.
They're going to try to get their hands in it somehow because they're going to say that they know best.
They're not going to try to get their hands in it. They're going to try to shut it down. It'll be interesting to see how many idiots fall for this.
Once the IOC gets involved, I don't see.
Oh no. That's because me and you have common sense about sports. We both know that there'll be no shutting it down. But I'm telling you, they're going to try.
I see what you mean. Yes.
Well, look at just like we said on the local level, Grappling Industries is trying to come in here.
Yep.
There is nothing about what Grappling Industries offers that is wrong.
No.
From a consumer and athlete standpoint, in fact, okay, look, they offer round robin tournaments for a cheaper price.
Yes.
On a quicker turnaround.
You'll be out by 2 p.m.
You're going to be out by 2-3 p.m. What about that is bad? Absolutely nothing.
Nothing.
Do you know how many morons in Charlotte will not go? Well, the last time they tried it, they had to shut it down because nobody signed up,
which is ridiculous.
Yeah, and I get and I know for a fact there were some people that did not sign up, and this is what they said: "I only do IBJJF." You ass clown.
Or Naga.
Or I only do Naga. You ass clown. Well, I can respect the Nagas because at least the Nagas, the majority of them won't do it because their coach has financial interest in Naga. That I can accept. That makes a little bit more damn sense. But
it makes sense, but I can't accept it.
Well, yeah, it's sort of shitty, but I mean, well, I accept it because the people that don't go, they probably don't know that. Well, they probably don't look at it. I just seriously doubt their coach is telling them that.
The coach is definitely not telling them that.
No.
Which is very interesting for people that are wanting to get into competition and don't know where to start, which competition they should start with, if they should do Naga, if they should do a local show.
You should compete.
Just go
You
out
should compete.
and just, even if you go to another school every once in a while and roll with them.
You should do that, but you should compete. You should go to a tournament. You should test your app, even if you just do it once. Once. Dude, do you know there's black belts that have never competed?
Yes.
Is that not amazing?
Yes.
That's amazing to me.
Yes.
That's absolutely freaking amazing. How do you?
I was always under the impression that to get a black belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu, especially under the Gracies, that you had to compete.
No. That's I don't think anyone. I mean, even with what I just said that you should do it, I don't put that on someone as a. I mean, pretty much, if you're gonna be at my school eventually, I'm pretty sure eventually you will compete.
Well, that's just because you motivate the fuck out of people.
Yeah, I try to motivate people.
Yes.
To be a better them.
Yes.
But I still don't put that restriction on somebody. You can't ever be a black belt if you don't compete.
So I'm going to step on my soapbox real fast. I'm going to say that competing for everybody out there is, even if you do it once and you test your mettle against somebody else that you don't know, it will improve every aspect of the rest of your life, because you will wake up in the morning and you will do something that only less than 1% of the population has done. And Mick, I'm talking to you. You've done it and you want to do it again. And I'm going to tell you to keep doing it until you get the butterflies out, because you're going to be one hell of a competitor.
Yeah, that's the next step for him, man. He's going to be awesome.
He's going to be awesome. He's got the chess game down. He's very insightful. He's already planning moves ahead. And there's tons and tons of people at every school around here that the only thing is, and I think this comes down to the coach, is the coach. If the coach does not know how, if the coach has not competed, then they don't know how to train their athletes to compete.
It's old school. Don't even get me. Okay. We need to stop. We're going to switch directions here because I'm about to get started.
That's what people came here. Well,
yeah,
okay.
But that's a different. That's another hour.
So we listen to everybody's feedback, and we're going to try to keep it under an hour and a half. We got a lot of material to cover because of last week. Maybe we'll just cut it short and then do another hour and a half next week, because some of you people have said that you're doing no work at work because you're too busy listening to us, which we greatly appreciate.
That's a good thing. Make sure you go on iTunes and leave a rating or a comment. Please.
I asked Santa just for 5 comments and 5 reviews.
Well, that son of a bitch didn't return my tweet either, so.
Santa?
To hell with Santa.
Well,
Santa and the president.
Don't talk to me about Santa.
Hey, let me ask you a question. What was your take on that cop shooting in that hotel?
I don't know enough about it yet.
That's a smart answer.
I really don't know.
Okay, but
what all
do you know what I'm talking about?
Yes.
Did you watch it?
No, I did not watch the video. I saw the story and I did not have time to dig into it, and I knew that there was going to be more to this. And it's so funny that you said that, because I was stopped up here at the gas station on the way here, and there's a guy that was pumping gas started at 5:30, and I was inside, and the lady called the cops, and she called them at 6 o'clock, and it was already I don't know, like 6:15 or something. So by the time he went in his car at 5:30, he fell asleep at the pump, and the cops finally came. The dude was sleeping in his car. So there's a whole lot of story that I don't know about just in that circumstance, that I don't know enough to comment on the cop shooting.
Are you talking about the cop shooting in the hotel that I'm talking about?
Yes.
Okay. So I've read up on this thing pretty much. So a father of 2 is in the hotel with some other people, and he's showing off his pellet gun that he uses for work. Okay. And some ass clowns are down in the pool beneath. Okay. And they look up and they see this guy in his room. I don't know if he was like I don't know, hanging out the damn window with it or whatnot. But they see him in his window with this gun, and so they go tell the front desk, and the front desk calls it in to the police, and the police respond and come there to the hotel. Well, they tell him to come out. They get up to the floor. They yell for him to come out. And I don't know if the guy and his girlfriend actually heard them, or if they didn't, or they was coming out to go get some M&Ms or a cold beer. And they walk out in the hallway and they turn the corner, and there's fucking Hawaii 5-0 SWAT team, fucking guns pointed at them, you know, and yelling and screaming and get down on the ground, turn around 3 times, scratch your right butt cheek, put your left finger over your right nostril, do this, do that. They're just giving all these commands. Now I'm sitting there watching it and I'm keeping up with the commands, but at the same time, if you're that guy and his girlfriend and you turn that corner and you're not used to high intensity pressure situations, or fuck, even if you are, and there's these 5 SWAT officers in all black with what kind of guns do they use?
AR-15s.
With AR-15s pointed at you. They got the red dots on them.
Mm-hmm.
So they got the red dot on you, dude. What do you do when the red? Do you pull spider dookie guard when the red dot gets on you?
No, you fucking stop moving.
You don't pull spider dookie guard?
You don't even think about it. No.
No spider. Okay, so anyways, they're giving this guy and this girl all these instructions. No, the girl, to her credit, did a fantastic job of following the instructions. And she crawls down on her knees and makes it down to the cops, and they cuff her and stuff her. The poor guy is just a mess. He's crying and screaming, and this cop is screaming at him, you know, if you don't do what we say, you're likely to get killed. We're going to shoot you. And the guy said, please don't shoot me. And yes, we're going to shoot you if you do not do what we say, blah, 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 blah.
I shot him.
And the guy clearly on video, you can see in defense of the cop, you can see where the guy's hand, it does go behind his back multiple times. He was told it, but you know, hindsight being 2020, you know he didn't have a gun. So the cop shoots him, kills him. Okay, they put him on trial. Now this video comes out 2 years later.
He was acquitted, by the way.
Yeah, I know. And the video that everybody's watching now came out 2 years later. This happened a year or 2 ago. Okay. And so now the video was just released and people's able to see it, but he was acquitted. Okay. Now, everybody's pissed off.
Yep.
Everybody's mad. Everybody's like, how in the hell did this happen? I've even heard idiots saying this is what Colin Kaepernick was kneeling for. And I'm like, what the fuck does this have to do with Colin Kaepernick? What a bunch of ass clowns. But anyway, so they everybody's pissed. They want this cop's head on a platter. There's no justice for the community in the United States of America outside of law enforcement, and law enforcement is bad, and that's the story that everybody's talking on Facebook. Now, can I give you my opinion on this?
That's what we're here.
Okay, here's my take on this. Okay, as soon as I saw the video start,
okay,
the first thing I thought of, I hadn't even read anything. I just clicked. I love it when I look on Facebook and it says this video contains graphic image. Yeah. I always click it just to get started. As soon as they was in the hotel room, and the couple came around the corner and the cops started yelling at them. The first, no, well, I already knew because of the graphic content. But let me tell you the first thing that went through my head. Do you know what it was?
They were gonna kill the cop?
No. Las Vegas.
Good point.
The shooting in Las Vegas. Then I watched the video. Then I read the description of what took place. Then I read all of these professional law enforcement officers on Facebook give their almighty holy opinion as to what that cop should have done, and blah, 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 blah. I also read somewhere that SWAT response is different than normal police response. They go by a different set of rules.
Shout out to Jay in Vegas, who was on scene at a SWAT buddy of mine. Just wanted to get that up.
So the first thing I thought when I saw this was about Vegas. Then after I read up on it, and then I read everybody's opinion, and then I read that the jury let him go, I'm going to be completely honest with you. I'm amazed that everyone's shocked that the cop got off. And this is why. We just had a damn incident in Vegas where an ass clown was up in a hotel room with
a fuck ton of guns and ammunition.
And ammunition and killed how many people?
Gosh, in the hundreds.
And I mean, it was a lot of people. I don't know if it's 100. I mean, it may have been. It could have been more than 100. I don't know. But a lot of people got hurt. And I'm thinking to myself. I'm going
to have to fact check myself because I know it was 53 dead, and I'm trying to figure out how many were injured. And I don't want to disservice anybody because
Could you imagine? My point is, they call the police. I'm pretty sure that the police sent the SWAT with the Las Vegas incident in mind. They didn't want to just send regular.
58 people dead, 546 injured.
Yeah, they didn't want to send Barney Fife. That's crazy. They didn't want to send Barney, okay? They didn't want to say, Barney, go up here and knock on the door and see,
how y'all doing?
We got a complaint that there's a gun in here. Could you guys come out? I mean, could you imagine that if it had not have been, no, granted, this happened before the Las Vegas incident, but that's not the point. The point is, I'm talking about everyone's reaction. I'm shocked that everyone was just taken aback by this and is just wanting the cop's head on a platter. And then all these idiots are like, well, did you see what it said on his gun? It said that he had scratched on his gun. You're going to die today, motherfucker. I mean, I wasn't in the military. Okay. I wasn't in law enforcement, but you tell me, I'm pretty sure that's normal. I know when I watched my favorite movie, Full Metal Jacket. Great movie. Great fucking America. I know on their helmets, it said Born to Kill.
Born to Kill. And he did that as a joke, too.
Okay, but you see what I mean? I'm pretty sure that that's probably, well, now it's probably not accepted, but I'm pretty sure that's not out of the normal for law enforcement or military to have little slogans scratched on their guns, their helmets, their notepad, whatever. I don't know, but my point is, I'm shocked that everyone responded like they did, especially after Las Vegas. I mean, it seemed to me, like I said, as soon as I saw the video come on, the first thing I thought I was getting ready to see was another Vegas incident getting ready to go down.
Have you ever had a gun pointed at you?
Yes, it's not fun.
It's not fucking fun. What was your reaction?
I pissed myself.
So for most of the people out there that have never, if you have a sidearm or if you have a weapon on you, and if you have been aimed at or are being targeted and you have no defensive posture, there's two things you can do. Is you can piss yourself or you can run to get a defensive posture and return fire. There's always the couple words of shoot, move, and communicate. There it goes. Fucking on air.
There goes the on air sign.
Let's look at the other one up.
Yeah, the other one's still up there.
It's okay. We'll get that one later. So if you have a gun pointed at you and you don't have a sidearm and you don't have the reaction time, it's very fucking scary. And most people out there have never ever had to aim a gun at another human being or have never had a gun aimed at them in anger. And I tell you what, it's a fucking adrenaline dump.
So we can both agree that I think, you tell me if I'm wrong, that the gentleman that got murdered, or died that day, his reaction was normal. I mean, he was scared. Completely normal. At the same time, though, I don't know if you agree with me or not. The overreaction of the SWAT team, to me, is understandable considering the events here in the United States in the last 5 years with these mass shooters, with fucking crazy people.
And you don't know what you're coming into.
You don't know what you're going into.
And you get a call, and if you're a police officer and you say that the person has a gun, they're coming full force.
Especially if let's go back to what I said before though. The laws maybe not rules of engagement, but the laws and the procedures of SWAT
You brought up a
is
very
totally different.
You brought up a very good point about rules of engagement, and keep going.
The procedures of a SWAT unit is totally different, correct, than a regular law enforcement cop responding to something like that.
100%.
Okay, so I mean,
So I guess they're pissed off that they called the SWAT unit on this guy. But
how could you be pissed off though? After what just happened in Vegas, after what happened in Columbine, after what happened up in Connecticut with those little kids, how could you possibly be upset? I mean, do you know how many people I've heard cuss, raise hell at the reaction to Columbine about how the cops wasn't prepared and they wasn't this and they wasn't that, or the shooting in Denver with the Batman movie, the movie theater?
I'll show you a better one. If you go back in the 1990s and you watch the bank robbery in Los Angeles, and you see the guy in body armor with automatic weapons,
yeah,
and the cops get out of their car with no body armor,
with pea shooters.
He is just knocking down police officers left and right.
Yeah.
And that was the single hardest day in law enforcement history for them to learn that you can't fight somebody with a revolver if they have an automatic weapon.
Which is why they call SWAT.
And well, not even SWAT. You and I both know a police officer here in Charlotte, and I went to meet him one day, and in the back of all Charlotte Mecklenburg cars, let's just say you have levels of force. There are weapons that will meet the level of force necessary. And if they can't meet that level of force, they make the next call. They're still involved, but it's all about force and balancing the force out, because it's not only what's going to happen to the officer, or military is completely different as well, and he's former military, so he knows. But serve and protect. You know, your job as a Charlotte police officer or police officer in any community is to make sure that that person does not hurt anybody else. They step in the line of fire to make sure that if somebody's going to get hurt, it's going to be them, or they're going to die trying to take this guy out.
Okay, so we have right now we have three points to this. Number one, we have a witness to a guy holding a gun. Now, the ass clowns down in the pool, they don't know if it's a pellet gun or AR-15. Or,
no idea.
They just see a guy up in the window with a gun.
Yes.
Right?
Yes.
The very thing that we were critical of all of the victims and survivors in Vegas, that no one had looked up and saw a gun sticking out the window.
Couldn't.
Right. So these people actually saw a weapon, yep, and they went to the front desk call. Okay. Number two, second point. We have a law enforcement agency that responded in the way that we all wish the Columbine police had responded. We wish they had sent SWAT, military trained law enforcement, the way we wish the cops in Denver had responded with the Batman shooting, the way we wish they had responded up at the elementary school shooting. We wish that they had sent people that were trained to handle the situation. This law enforcement agency did that. They sent SWAT.
So unfortunately, Columbine and all these other mass shootings, law enforcement learns from.
Yeah.
And that's how they change force protection.
Okay. So
it takes bad shit for force protection to change.
Okay. So force protection changed, and this law enforcement agency responded accordingly. They sent the SWAT.
And you don't reach your hand behind your back.
So, which brings me to my third point. Well, the third point is we acknowledge that SWAT policy and procedures is different than regular law enforcement.
Completely different.
Okay. So then, which brings me to my fourth point. No matter how you cut it, no matter how you word it, whether he panicked, whether he was scared, whether he pissed himself, multiple times he reached behind his back.
Yes.
True or false?
True.
So what the hell does everybody want? What do we want in society? Seriously, what the hell do we want? Because I can tell you this: if they had sent Barney in,
Barney had been done.
And Barney went and knocked on the door. Okay, just went and him and if Barney and Fred go and knock on the door. Room 501. We have a phone call. Could you open up, please? This is
Barney Fife.
This is Charlotte Mecklenburg County Police Department. This is Barney and Fred. Could you open the door, please? We had a complaint. Well, what was the complaint? Well, we heard there was a gun and we heard there was a gun in the room. Could you open the door, please?
That's not gonna happen.
Okay. And it's not the guy that got murdered. It's the guy in Vegas.
Yes.
And he opens up fire. Then what? Then what do we complain about?
What? So here's the question that we can pose to the rest of society is, what do you want law enforcement to do in those situations? What do you expect law? Do you expect law? Okay. I was up in Cleveland right when the Cavaliers were winning. This is my aunt died. And I was staying right in the Cleveland Clinic, and I had walked out of the hotel to go down to visit her, and there was a line of cop cars as soon as I got out of the hotel, and they said, whatever you do, don't go this way. Go this way. So I started walking back toward the hotel and find out later that night, that's when the cop had jumped on the top of the car and it fired. Do you remember the story?
Yeah.
And it fired into the car 17 times. I believe it was 17 times. My facts may be off. But supposedly they tried to run him over and he jumped on the car and he shot them. And they started rioting immediately. Immediately they started rioting. Now, if you're a police officer and you go out to do your daily rounds, somebody tries to shoot or shoot you and then run you over. If you think that they're a threat to the rest of society, honest to God, what do you do? Do you neutralize the threat?
You neutralize the threat, you would think, but hell, if you neutralize the threat, they riot. And then they use monkey math logic.
Yes.
You didn't have to fire 17 bullets, motherfucker. Have you fired a gun? Well,
better yet, adrenaline dump.
Have you had an adrenaline dump when someone's trying to run you over with a fucking vehicle?
I can only imagine what was going.
It's a thankless job, and we're gonna cut this one short on that note. We're gonna cut that topic short, but it's a thankless job. The three most thankless jobs, in my opinion. Let's hear yours. Mine are: number one, law enforcement officer; number two, President of the United States; number three, the poor old ground coach.
Wow, that's pretty good.
Poor old ground coach. It's thankless.
I was gonna say Punxsutawney Phil.
Who?
Groundhog Day. I just kidding.
Okay.
Number one for me would be nurses.
Nurses.
They are very, very overworked and not thanked enough.
Yeah. I love nurses. I love nurses. I mean, I love them because, like, when if I'm in a hospital or I'm sick. So I need those nurses to be on point.
You need nurses to be on point.
Yeah. And they deliver good babies.
They actually really do. Them and midwives, they deliver excellent babies.
That's crazy. That's crazy.
And the doctor walks in for like 5 minutes.
Yeah, he don't do shit, man.
I'm out. See you.
Dude, I used to think doctors were like the bum diggity, but they're like, and I'm not saying they're worthless because that would make them thankless too. But
they take care of everything up until the point of delivery. And if there's a problem with delivery, of course they jump in. But, you know, nurses and midwives obviously are awesome.
So what's your 2 and 3?
Believe it or not, you know what my number 2 is?
What?
Garbage man.
Dude, you bring up good points.
When is the last time you tipped a garbage man?
No, but I tell you what I do. This I should get like a Citizen of the Year award for this. I break down all my cardboard.
So
what's 3?
Recycling. Number 3.
Yeah.
This is going to sound really stupid, but I firmly believe this, is it people that work at convenience stores.
I can go with that because when I was up on Dalton Avenue and that damn 7-Eleven, good gracious, guys, I don't know if you guys have been to the 7-Eleven on the corner of Dalton and what is that, North Triumph?
North Triumph. Don't go. Don't even go.
Or
unless you're strapped.
Well, wait a minute. If you do go, take that son of a bitch a damn Reese cup.
That what?
That son of a bitch.
I love that word.
Get him a Reese cup with a bow on it because he deserves it.
And about the 10 guys that are outside that are going to accost you for either money or sell you drugs.
Yeah.
That was the truth.
It's true.
It's true.
It's true. Dude, you know, man. So check this out. Real quick. I gotta get into this real quick. What time is it?
We got, we got a little
we're
bit at 121, so we got 9 minutes.
So we got 9 minutes. Toro Geese.
Okay.
Toro Geese. James Hogaboom. Higabomb.
Higabomb.
Is that it?
I believe so.
Higabomb? Bullshit. I call bullshit. I'm looking his name up.
You pronounce stuff fucked up, by the way.
Well, I'm country as fuck, man. Leave me alone. Let me look James up.
I think it's Higabomb.
Bullshit. That says Hogaboom. That says Hogaboom.
Hogaboom. All right, Cage Side MMA. Big shout out to James Hogaboom. I thought it was. I apologize. I'm wrong again.
Hold on.
Holy shit! We have a phone call. Wait, I might be able to patch him in. I don't have the right cable.
Is it ringing? Oh,
no, but we can actually get him on.
Please leave a message.
James, Higabomb.
Watch this.
We're calling you right now.
What's his email?
From the podcast.
What's his email address?
I don't know his damn email address.
Well, I can't fucking imagine.
Anyway, you're on the podcast right now. You're on my phone, and you didn't answer because we want to talk about this Toro Geese live to roll to live controversy that's going on.
Oh god.
So I'm gonna go ahead and talk about it. But we was trying to figure out how to pronounce your last name.
No, I was wrong.
Bye.
Love you.
Okay, so Toro Geese, which is owned by our good buddy James.
Yep.
And awesome geese.
So
awesome geese.
Awesome geese.
Awesome geese, and even better shirts. And they have a slogan that they have trademarked. They own the rights to this thing. Live to roll, roll to live. And these son of a bitches out at King's Geese and Fighters Market have been using that logo on their apparel, and I know for a fact that they know that it's not right because people have went on and left reviews and comments on their site, and they still sell it. They still sell the apparel with it. What do you think about that? I think. Well, you tell me what you think first.
When did James copyright that phrase?
That's a good question. See, that's why we need James to answer the damn phone, man. You know what? You know why he's not answering, right? He's down there doing that Jujitsu shit.
He's watching us and probably doing that. Yeah.
He ain't watching. Is he watching?
He might be.
No, he's not.
I've seen up to 15 viewers tonight.
15 viewers?
We got 5 right now, and they've been on for a while.
Well,
so, hey,
if any of you are James Hogaboom,
send me your email address, and I'll get you on the show right now. You want to email anybody on the show right now?
Can we see who's on there?
Yeah, they'll come on.
How do we see who's on there?
Watch the fucking magic.
Well, let's see it.
Who do you want to bring up? You want to bring up?
I don't want to bring up. I want to know who's on there.
Well, nobody's on here right now. I can't do it. Well, I can't do that right now. But
I thought you had 5 viewers.
We do right there. 5 viewers. It was up to 15.
But you can't see who it is.
Not without my special codec, which is coming because we don't have enough streams. Thanks to Google. Once we do that, we have our own streaming channel. Right now, we're just doing it through.
Okay, so let's assume that James copyrighted this thing. Let's be fair. Let's say 2012. Okay. Let's say 2012, 2013, and let's say that because I think you got to continuously renew it. Correct? Maybe. Okay. Let's assume you do, and let's say
I think you only have a certain amount of time.
Okay. Well,
I could be wrong.
Well, let's say he's met all the legal necessities that it takes to keep that phrase.
Okay.
and they're still doing this. They're just saying, the heck with you. I'm above.
So here's my question:
Yeah.
Is who has more money for a legal battle?
Man, you know that's big, because somebody told me one time. Somebody literally told me this one time. They said, "Fuck it. It'll cost them more money to fight us."
I will call Dr. Heslin right now, and he will tell you some horror stories about retainers and the amount of money
That it costs.
just to get it so that a lawyer will take your case. Now, does James?
I assume that James. You know what? I bet Kings has a lot of money. They got Andre Galval as a.
Okay, but do you,
for a legal battle though? That's the difference, right?
We're talking about corporate legal battle,
right?
We're probably talking about IP infringement,
okay,
which is at least probably $15,000 to $20,000 retainer.
$15,000 to $20,000.
Yes.
Do you think somebody would give me $15,000 to $20,000 to retain my services to
Absolutely not.
No. What about $15 or $20? What about that shit?
They might do that.
Hey, you know what?
Did you represent yourself in court? You can.
Fuck yeah, I've done it before. Listen. Listen. Okay, we're gonna drop this until we can get James Huggaboom, Higgabob on the damn podcast. Okay, we're gonna get him on. When we get you on this podcast, we're gonna talk about this shit. I ain't letting Kings off the. I don't care if they got enough money or not. I'm not.
How did you figure all this just for an hour? Okay, so tell us.
We got like 30 topics. Hey, let me get on to one more topic.
Jump on.
I just got a message from my main man. Look at that.
Oh shit!
The Swamp Fox himself.
Big Edwards. What's up, baby?
Big B.
And you were actually on here as a topic. And I can show, well, I don't want to show you all the topics, but I will show you that the 2017 No-Gi World.
2017.
Brian Edwards, third place, dog.
2017 No-Gi World. My main man, Brian Edwards, third in the world. Look, he should have won it.
In the world.
He should have won it.
You should.
He should have won it. He should have. Look, I wouldn't give a damn if Juventud Guerrero was in his damn. I don't care if Juventud was in his bracket. Brian Edwards should win by default. When he steps on that fucking mat, let's just raise his arm. Give him a gold medal.
Everybody walk off.
Just give him a gold medal. Just give him a gold medal.
It's like 40 and over, isn't it?
Yeah. Fuck that, man. Brian should have won. Dude, he whipped a man's ass in the first round.
Brian, you did whip a man's ass.
He whipped a man's ass in the first round, and then he got the second round and he got beat. And but I don't care. As far as I'm concerned, he's the number one stunner. He's the number one stunner. He ain't worth a shit as a tag team partner, man.
I have heard that.
He ain't.
From you.
Him and John Piper's worthless as tag team partners. I was getting my ass whipped at IBJJF Charlotte up here at the IBJJF, and I looked over to tag Brian in. He wasn't even in the damn building. He fucking done it.
Could you imagine if they allowed tags?
Oh, dude, I would never grapple. Like, I would just keep tagging Brian and
That'd be
Piper.
fucking bad.
Like, I would walk out there with my black belt like a badass that I am, and I would touch hands.
We should get your black belt, and we should just like put 80 stripes on it, all the way up.
You want to?
Be like that guy in
Renato Labrante?
Yeah.
I'm better than him, dude.
I love
what the hell's
this
he
movie.
doing, man? Dude, he's tough.
So fucking funny. You know, it's all
He
fake,
sucks.
right?
Yeah,
He's an actor.
he sucks.
But it's funny.
I'm 28-time world champion. He's 27.
You don't. I don't want to be American. I don't want to be. You talk to me. I take you aside. I fuck you up, Chris Weidman.
Look, I'm telling you, if we had tag team, 6-man tag team matches, me, Brian Edwards, and John Piper.
I said we bring it back.
Let's do it, man.
Let's do it.
That's
back.
Dude, that's the
tag
problem.
Team.
That's the problem. That's the problem with Jiu-Jitsu. Jiu-Jitsu's doing all this ABI rule shit. Like, MMA fighters are laughing at that shit.
Yes. No. Actually, the biggest signups the EBI has had been from MMA fighters.
UFC fighters?
Yep.
Who?
Eddie Bravo has a list of them that he just ran over.
He's lied.
The names that he read, I don't think
he's lying. He's lying. Well, actually, that's them taking advantage. That's because they believe what I believe. They think they're going to get there and just slap the shit out of a man. But listen, we don't need all that slapping shit. We need tag team submission matches.
Yes.
6-man tag team submission matches.
Done. Let's
call Kenny Letts. Let's call Kenny Letts.
We're not going to mention that. We're going to mention the what's the other one?
864.
864.
No, we can't mention 864 no more, dude.
What? Why didn't you tell me this before?
I'm sorry, dude. I saw a video of 864 guy. I just can't. I can't go with that. We're back on the fight lab.
All right, we're back on the fight lab. Kenny, call us.
We need these. Call us, dude. 6-man tag team cage grappling matches.
Cage ring.
No, in the cage.
We got to jump off the ring,
dude. That's so badass.
Flying knees off the ring.
And Kenny has a ring too.
That's what I know. I'm saying.
Kenny, let's do this. Me and Brian Edwards and John Piper. Nobody can beat us. Nobody. Anybody. Even if they know the Spider Dookie guard. We don't care. Arm drag and Swamp Fox. B Hotches.
This is Swamp Fox.
Big Daddy Swamp Fox.
That's Swamp.
Big Daddy Swamp Fox. I love it. Dude, hey, speaking of which, down at Swamp Fox. Okay, let me pull this up real quick. Please forgive me. I know this is rude on a podcast. I'm not supposed to do it. Let's see here. So Swamp Fox. Let me get this thing pulled up. Shit, what the hell is this? Dude, there's a bunch of groups on here. Swamp Fox kids, parents. You think I can get on that thing?
No.
I'm gonna click join.
I wouldn't do that.
I'm gonna click join.
Next thing you know, you have to give back your black belt.
Oh yeah. Come get it. Come take it.
Good Lord.
Okay, so Swamp Fox.
I don't even want to know. There it is. Swamp Fox.
Yeah, but I'm going to the events.
Oh.
Because I want to talk about this.
I want to come up with swamp ass jiu-jitsu.
Okay, listen. So Swamp Fox, January 6th, another charity event. Geese for GIs.
Show it to the camera.
Yeah, Geese for GIs Foundation. If you can see that.
By the way, we have $100 more to raise for our foundation for our charity for them. Just $100 more, people.
My God. I mean, fuck, you fat son of a bitches. You spend $10, $15 every day at McDonald's. Come on. Good God.
Shout out to Hobby and my other donators and our other donators. Please just help us reach 200. 200 is it. That's all we're asking.
So check this out. This is a co-ed event. All instructors are brown or black belt females. Okay. This is a chance to support our great charity and at the same time support our female jiu-jitsu practitioners. Bring your daughters, your wives, your girlfriends, any female you would like to expose our great martial art to. It's free to be a spectator and only $40 to participate and learn from these great ladies.
$40.
What?
You're not $40 this price anywhere.
$40. 100% of the proceeds goes to the Geese for GIs Foundation and allows us to continue growing our Oath Takers BJJ community as well as our community as a whole. We hope to see you there. Guys, come on. Girls, come on. Girls, come on. This is next Saturday. This is down at Swamp Fox. Man, I expect
$40.
You know what? In fact, you know what? I was going to next Saturday. I was gonna go to the U.S. Grappling Referees course that John Bagels is doing at
well, you have to
Tops.
do that, though, I thought.
No, that's for grappling. I've been doing grappling industries referee.
Oh, that's right.
But I was going to go for U.S. grappling. I'd like to referee for U.S. grappling. John, I'm going to take a rain check on that. I'm going to cancel class next Saturday here at Checkmate Charlotte.
Okay.
So that all of our females, Nicole, Amanda, Tiffany, Rebecca, all of y'all get your asses down to Columbia, South Carolina and take part of this. This is freaking phenomenal. I mean, this is awesome. 4 female brown or black belts. They're going to be doing a seminar down there. This is for the Geese, for GIs, the Oath Takers. Guys, get down there. Just girls, get down there. What else do you have to do? I'm going. I'm going to go watch.
I'm going to go with you.
Let's go, dude. What else we got to do?
Let's pack up the van. Let's get a van.
Get a van and haul their asses down there.
And we'll drive everybody down.
Let's go. Fuck, let's put John Piper in a dress.
He'll do it.
You think so?
I'm pretty sure he'll do it.
He arm dragging a dress.
Anyways, beautiful.
Well, we're gonna be there, and I want everybody else to go down there. It's for a great cause. Get down there. This is serious.
Serious shit. I mean, seriously.
It's
$40.
It's more serious than James the damn
Bagels.
Toro's gi thing which is pretty serious. Like I'm pissed about that.
I will get more facts on that, and then we will touch base on.
We're gonna get him on the podcast. What else we got on that topic?
There's a bunch of stuff. I do want to talk about UFC, but I think we can probably carry UFC until next week.
We'll carry that over the next week. Have we figured out an answer to our universal question? What do you do if you're in the Kumite and you're a jiu-jitsu practitioner and you end up with in the first round you draw Rulon Gardner? Do you pull Spider Dookie guard?
You pull Spider Dookie guard, you shit your pants, and then you Granby roll off the mat.
I told you the Granby roll's not going to work on him.
You don't like my Granby rolls.
Well, you said Barambola last time.
So, by the way, we do need to figure out nicknames because you and Mick and me are confused as shit sometimes.
Nicknames for who?
Mick and I. Because Mick and Nick are like...
Brian Edwards just said that the event is a co-event, men and women. Now, let me tell you, wait a minute. This goes back to what I'm talking about. He's a stink-ass shit partner. This is why I'm scared to defend our 6-man tag team world championship, because he does shit like this. That event was not a co-ed event. He made it a co-ed event so I can get on there and those 4 brown belt women, black belt women can kick my ass. That's all he wants.
I have a dress that you can wear. You,
no.
and Amanda.
He wants me to wear a gi so they can kick my ass. That's what he's trying to do. Not happening, buddy.
What's the problem?
He'll do it, not me.
I'll do it in a heartbeat. I'll get my ass kicked.
Yeah, I get my ass kicked enough by Nicole and Amanda. I'm not going in there to get my ass kicked by your girls. But I am coming then. We are barring any unforeseen asteroids or celestial objects falling from the sky. Or getting Spider Dookie guarded by Brazilian.
Or with Rulon Gardner, if he just shows up, I'm just going to shit my pants on him and then run.
Yeah.
We will be
there January the 6th, and everybody else better be there.
January the 6th, tell me where it's at again.
Swamp Fox, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu in Florence, South Carolina.
Florence is not even 2 hours away.
Not even 2 hours, man.
Not even 2 hours.
So look here. So going down this list, we gave our shout outs. We didn't hit the voter ID laws.
No, because that can go really deep.
Yeah, we got to carry that over. Okay. We did the cop shooting in the hotel.
I don't want to talk about Tennessee because that carries...
Tennessee,
Go ahead.
The Tennessee recruiting class, it's in the top 25 right now, baby. We're coming for you. I hope it was fun and games. I hope you guys all got a big kick out of it, but we're about to whip y'all's asses in 2018. It's going down. Okay. Toro gi, we talked about it a little bit, but we're going to go into that thing.
Brian Edwards.
2017 No-Gi World. Brian Edwards. What I call him? The Big Daddy Swamp Fox.
Big Daddy Swamp
Big
Fox.
Daddy Swamp Fox.
He's watching. Look, we're up to 6 viewers.
Laban Probst got 2nd place in the world.
Tex
Johnson got 3rd in the
Bagels.
And John Bagels.
Bagels, you better send me a friend request.
Dude, tell Bagels don't even like us.
I know.
he's down there with the Raleigh crew. Like he gives me the stink eye every time I see him. But he did invite me to the referees course. I don't know if it's just put money in his pocket.
I think you still need to go to that.
I can't. I'm going to the Swamp Fox.
I know, but I still think you need. Well, this is my.
I should.
You have.
I want to, but I gotta go to Brian's.
I understand.
I gotta go to Big Daddy Swamp Fox. GSP giving up his middleweight belt while fighting ulcerative
colitis, which is no fucking joke. Brock Lesnar.
That's no joke, dude.
I know people that have it.
Serious stuff, man.
It is not a happy disease.
I hate that. I don't like
he could be done.
I know, and I don't like GSP worth of shit. But I mean, I hate that for any athlete. That's terrible.
It's the win on top guy, though.
Yeah, I know. Yeah.
Except for Matt Serra.
Yeah, UFC 219, Holly Holm versus Cyborg.
So predictions or just temporary discussion placeholders? Because you have discussion and picks, but
who do you think is going to win?
Man, I think Holm. If it stays standing, Holm. If it goes to the ground, Cyborg.
I always go with Holly Holm. She's my girl. I like Holly Holm.
And she's much prettier than Cyborg.
Much prettier. If I wasn't married to Regina, I'd marry Holly Holm. After I married Jennifer Aniston. Can I marry two people? At the same time?
You have to move to Utah, I believe.
Well, I'm not moving to Utah.
You have to become Mormon.
Are there black
Mormon people in the house? I don't think there's one. I don't know if there's been Mormon black.
Dude, I should be Mormon. I should turn Mormon.
You have been the first African American black belt in North Carolina, and you could be the first
African American Mormon in North Carolina
with multiple wives.
Multiple. I don't think Virginia would like that.
Do not yell at me.
We're not doing that. So I'm going with Holly Holm.
I'm going with.
You're trying to straddle the fence. Like
No. I'll go home. I'll go home decision.
Okay. All right. And now, speaking of Holly Holm and Cyborg, and this is our last topic.
Yep.
Steroids in MMA.
Fuck.
Should John Jones be allowed back in the UFC?
Yes.
Absolutely. I think he should.
100%.
Fuck. There's a place for War Machine. There's a place for John Jones.
And look, everybody has done steroids on a professional circuit at one point or another.
If you're not, you're a fool.
If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying.
Well, I don't know about that.
If you ain't trying, you definitely ain't cheating.
I don't know about that, but if you're not doing steroids and you're fighting in the UFC, dude, trying to keep up with those killers, man, that's tough. And I have no problem with it. I'm fine with it because I've trained MMA, I've trained wrestling at high levels, high intensity before I turned into a 40-year-old fat ass. And I've trained guys at a high level, and I've sat on the other side of the cage and looked across and saw those guys and know that dude has put in twice the hours we have because he took twice the damn shots in the ass that we have. We took none. He took one. We got a problem.
He just recovered better.
We got a problem. He can recover better. He's putting in more hours. He's lifted more weights. He's doing more spider dookie guards than we are, and we're in trouble.
By the way, weights will be coming here very soon.
Man, the Pain Cave is coming to check Matt Charlotte.
Boom!
We're about to do big things. So you say John Jones should be allowed back. I say he should. He failed his test for Turnaball.
Turnaball.
What the hell does that do?
Turnaball is basically a short-acting, I believe it is a oil-based steroid. The Russians were using it a lot. It might be water-based, but I'm pretty sure it's oil-based. The Russians were using a lot, and that's
the Russians use it. This shit works.
It works, and that's why they are banned now from the Olympics.
So this is why.
Actually, I believe oral. It's an oral. It's an oral that is activated by an enzyme in the liver.
Okay. So he was taking some good shit at least.
Yeah.
Well, let me ask you this: do you think that maybe he was taking this to counter the hard rock pills he was taking before that?
So,
that he failed on the last drug test?
Do you really want to know what I really think?
What do you think?
I think that John Jones likes to party, and when you do too much coke, your penis doesn't work. So you take penis pills, and you don't know what's in the penis pills. And I mean, he's a specimen. I mean,
he's a beast. He's the greatest of all time. I don't care what anybody says. He's the greatest of all time.
But if you do enough coke and you drink enough liquor, your penis isn't going to work.
And so he took some hard rock pills.
I don't know this from personal, usage or anything. I'm just saying.
Okay. But this Turnaball, this has nothing to do with the hard rock. This can make your
rock hard.
But this is a short-term performance steroid, right?
Depending on how it's used, no, I'd say you'd have to take it for. It can get out of the system, I think, fairly quickly.
Okay, all right. UFC 214. That's when he failed it, and it was his second failed test in 3 years.
Yes.
Do you still think he should be allowed back?
So until they come up with a three strikes rule, you're out. Yes, he should be allowed back, but I do believe that the UFC should come up with the three strikes rule.
Okay. I think 5 strikes, 6 strikes. I think I should just let him be.
Just let him be.
I mean, the light heavyweight division sucks without John Jones.
I mean, let's look at the Grand
Prix. And for $60,
K1 or Pride, everybody was fucking juicing back then.
Look, for $60, I don't want to see a stink ass light heavyweight division. I'm just being honest with you.
It's the same thing with football. I don't want to see 150-pound weaklings hit each other.
No.
I want to pay to see drugged up men beat each other till they can't count to 20 anymore.
Yeah.
That's basically.
I mean, I'm just being honest with you.
Look,
I
see, you know, brain injuries are
serious. Do I want to see my students using steroids? Absolutely not. But NFL Pro, UFC, I could care less. I really could, especially for $60 for a pay-per-view.
Or if you buy a PSL, which is like 30 grand.
No. No, you know what? I'm going on strike. I'm not paying for any more pay-per-views that have small-chested, small-armed, little-legged, weak, inferior athletes on it.
Done.
It's not going to do it.
So,
but I will pay $40 for that Swamp Fox seminar next Saturday, January 6th. I'll pay $40 to Matt Masters charity.
And it's given up.
Okay. I'll pay $40 for that.
And reffing.
Okay. Yeah. I'm giving up coaching. I'm canceling class
we're getting
next
a
Saturday.
Van. We are getting a van.
Okay.
I'm gonna call and rent a van. All you CheckMat students, we will pile in the van.
Let's do it, dude.
Together.
Let's go. If we get 10 students together, that's $400 going to Geese for GIs.
That's amen, brother.
Let's do it. Seriously, let's do it.
I'm serious.
Okay, who's going to make Nicole and Amanda go? Who's putting them in there?
We will have to drug them like VA Baracus in the A team, and they will just wake up while we're down there.
All right.
And then, drug them.
Let's do it.
And put it back.
Let's do it.
And drive back.
Okay. We'll put Tiffany in there too. Tiffany don't even train anymore. T. Lil.
How's she doing?
She's on she's not on the Adrian Peterson ACL recovery plan. Let's put it that way. She'd argue that.
But it wasn't that bad, right?
But yeah, it was bad. It was complete ACL tear.
So I saw it. It was really, really, really.
It was nasty.
Yeah, it was nasty. That sucks.
For another subject, Naga didn't even have actual medical personnel on hand. They had. I'm not making this up. They cut a cardboard box up to make a splint for her leg, and then carried her by hand to her girlfriend's car and drove her to the hospital.
So here's where I have a problem.
No ambulance.
So here's where I have a problem.
But they want $100.
Well, there's the legal ramifications of, and I'm going to break this down real fast. You know how you have doctors that refuse to kill people when they're being put to death because the Hippocratic Oath is I shall do no harm. It's basically the same thing, I think, unless they just really can't pay them. But if you call 911 and you're at a fight, 911 better fucking show up pretty quickly, or you need to have some skilled personnel on hand because you've got people beating the shit out of each other voluntarily. Yeah. And you need to provide them medical services.
You would think.
You would.
There was no ambulance on hand. And there was no medical personnel there, and they didn't even have any medical equipment.
I don't understand it.
Can you believe that?
I don't understand it.
It's amazing.
There's got to be more behind that.
Awesome. Phenomenal.
Phenomenal.
Good shit. Well, I'll tell you what, dude, this has been fun.
So we're keeping it short tonight for all you people that want to work tomorrow and don't want to listen to us.
Like John Piper, Jason Bieber. Jason Bieber. Okay. So next week we're gonna have a guest.
Yep,
we're either gonna have, man, this is some awesome choices. Keith Richardson, the rock star.
He needs to be on.
Jason Bieber.
Yep.
Or the gerbil Jeremy Rupp.
It's up to you. It's your show. You tell me who.
Well,
where, when, and why. We can even have one person here, and we can have one person on there, and we can do 3 mics here.
Yeah, we'll see.
We'll make shit happen.
See. We're gonna make stuff happen.
We'll make shit happen.
We're gonna get it done. And man, this has been awesome. It's been fun, guys.
If
you're watching, or if you watch, make sure you do what? What do you need them to do?
If you go to breadskitchen.com and you just follow the links at the top, it'll take you to SoundCloud. It'll take you to Stitcher. It'll take you to iTunes. I'll also embed this live stream in a post. The Bread's Kitchen on Facebook, Darth Bredius on Twitter, And we're going to have Instagram up very soon that will be tied into the show, which is going to be separate from Professor's. So if you can't get a hold of us, just email one of us or email the Bread's Kitchen at gmail.com, and we will read your stuff on the air like we did tonight.
Well, and speaking of that, we had we did have one request, and the next week's topic will be what is the training, or what should be the training for higher level belts that run schools to take care of and cater to victims of sexual trauma, sexual assault, PTSD. That's a serious topic, serious conversation. We're going to talk about that next week.
I have a great person that I'll talk to you about that with.
Okay.
That did that specifically.
Really?
It was a great course. The impetus behind the course was he had a friend that was a realtor, and the realtor was showing a guy a house, and the guy raped her in the house.
All right, well, let's not get too much into it because we're going to run that next week.
Yep.
That's going to be the main serious topic. We're going to do our shout outs again. Jiu-Jitsu Mofo of the week, Jiu-Jitsu Biatch. Man, you're digging.
I'm trying to do that.
You can't even say it. Just don't even.
Biatch.
Yeah, you're not allowed to say it.
Okay.
Okay. And we'll do a charity of the week, and we'll talk some more about Brian Edwards, Big Daddy Swamp Fox, and the Jiu-Jitsu seminar they have down there with the 4 wonderful females that's going to be handling that. And I think we're done today, man.
This has wrapped up episode 003.
Yep.
While you finish watching us on YouTube, I'm going to kill the podcast. Good night, everybody.
Good night.